Hello, this is a recording of the Raisin Meditation that we carried out in today's practice, today being the 29th of November, the first session of the practice Zooms. And first of all, thank you all so much for coming along and joining in. And if anyone was unable to come along this week, you've got this recording. And for those of you who want to continue the practice through the week, you've got this as a guide to help you. You don't have to do this meditation in exactly the same way every time. You can do a short version for 5 minutes, or if you want a longer version for 15 or 20 minutes, just play with it. It's supposed to be a meditation that opens up your experience of being in the moment. So whatever it leads you into, that's generally okay. It's a very easy introduction to mindfulness. So this meditation is really practicing a concept that we call waking up from autopilot. And the autopilot is that routine that runs most of our lives. It's the part of our brain that doesn't really think about things, it just gets them done. Things that we're so used to doing, driving, rushing, shopping. We go through these motions perhaps without even being aware that we're in a unique moment on a unique day. And even although we've been shopping a million times before, maybe there's something unique about today's experience that we could be present for if we were a bit more mindful. And this might then open up a new relationship between yourself and the things that you do in your day. And it's a way of gradually building in a more mindful awareness of just the way that we live our lives. And if nothing else, it's just nice to give yourself a 5 minute break and to say, for the next 5 minutes or 15 minutes, I'm just going to be here with my raisin or my date. And I'm going to give myself a little break, a little breather. It's kind of like an oasis, a way of saying, well, you know what? Busy world, busy mind, thoughts, planning, thinking about things that happened yesterday or maybe even things that happened years ago. Just for the next 5 minutes or 15 minutes, I'm going to put all that to one side and I'm going to say to my busy mind, for the next few moments, it's just me and my date, me and my raisin, me and my cup of tea. And see how it feels just to give yourself that space and how it changes your relationship with the busy day that you return to at the end of the meditation. And as you build this into your day, make a date every day. Make a date with your date. Make a date with a banana. Make a date with a cup of tea. And most importantly, make a date with yourself. Just to give yourself a little breathing space in the day to be mindful. So, we're going to start by placing your fruit in the palm of your hand. Imagine you've never held a fruit like this before. It's the first time you've ever come across this. A beginner's mind exploring for the first time. What exactly is this thing, this date, this apple, this banana? And first of all, even with your eyes closed, just feeling what it's like to hold this object in the palm of your hand. Perhaps you could explore whether it's heavy or whether it's light. You could explore, if it moves, does it create a sensation in different parts of your palm of your hand? If it's a larger fruit, does it feel any different on different parts of your hand? And then taking your fingers, beginning to explore how it feels, keeping your eyes closed, just explore the surface of your fruit. Maybe explore with different fingers. Checking in if there's any difference in the sensations of touch from different fingers of your hand. Bringing a certain playful curiosity to this. Does it feel different if you explore with the fingers of the other hand? Looking with your fingers at the surface of your fruit. Is it wrinkly? Is it rough? Is it smooth? Is it uniform, or are there differences in dimensions? Some sides longer, some shorter. Turn it around in your fingers and on your hand. What does it feel like? Really play with this. What does it feel like? Just to play with how this object feels in the hands. Is it squishy? Or is it solid? Are there any bits where there's stalks? Or places where it might even be rough? When you've had a good exploring of this, just relaxing into this. Next, when you're ready, opening the eyes and really having a look at this. You've never seen one before. You've certainly never seen this one before. Looking maybe for differences in colour. Is the colour uniform, or does it change with the light? Are there variations in colour in different parts of the surface? How does the surface relate to the light of the room around you? It might even be transparent. When you open your eyes and you explore this with your sight, does it change the way that you feel when you touch? Does the information from your eyes change the way you interpret the information from your fingers? Are your fingers sticky? Waxy? By now in this meditation, certainly as we move on to the next part, you might be aware of things going on in your mind or maybe even in your emotions. Questions. What on earth am I doing here? Why am I sitting here holding a piece of fruit in my hand and looking at it like I've never seen it before? And that's part of the practice too. Being aware of all the thoughts, the different layers to the experience. So the next part certainly might bring up these questions, because what we're going to do now is we're going to hold the object, this piece of food, up to our ear, and we're going to, with our eyes closed, listen for any sounds. Maybe when you squish it gently, you might hear little sounds. Maybe if you tap it with your finger. Or maybe even tap it with your fingernail. While you do this, checking in with your mind and with your emotions. If there's an awareness of any thoughts or any questions, you recognize that. That's what your busy mind does. Always wants to be analyzing or imagining or reacting to what's going on. And so this practice is about being aware of that and then saying, thank you. Thanks, busy mind, for doing what you do. Thank you for thinking and reacting. And now I'm aware. For now, I'm just going to say to you, I'm going to leave you to one side and I'm going to come back to my date or my raisin. And I'm going to explore how it feels to let go of the questions and the thoughts and to make a choice for the next few minutes just to come back to exploring this object and being with whatever that brings up. Now we get to the bit of the meditation where we're almost ready to eat, but not quite yet. And there's also an awareness there. How does it feel to want to eat something, but not to be able to eat it right yet? We're going to put this up to our nose now. And we have a really good sniff, even with the eyes closed. The sense of smell is often a very strong trigger for emotions or memories or thoughts, associations. So this is a good point in the meditation to be aware of any of those things that might arise. And also then to practice recognizing the thoughts that come up and then choosing to let them go and come back simply to sniffing again. If you've got a banana or a citrus fruit, this is a good time in the meditation to start peeling. And that might open up a whole new experience of smell. Now, with your fruit peeled or ready, we're going to touch maybe just a piece of your banana or a segment of your citrus fruit or your entire little date or raisin. Just going to touch it to your lips. We're not ready to eat it yet. Just what does it feel like to hold this to the lips? Exploring whether it's different to touch with the lips than with the fingers. The coolness, the rough texture, the stickiness. And then the bit that's maybe a bit more difficult for me to lead, I'm going to hold just a little piece of your fruit, if it's an apple or something big. Maybe just put it to your teeth. If it's a banana, maybe just a segment of banana or a segment of fruit. Just hold it. Hold it in your teeth and feel what it's like not to take a bite, just to wait. Perhaps you can use this as a practice for when you have a busy mind and it's rushing, taking you off in rumination or intrusive thoughts. And just like holding this fruit here, but not taking a bite, can you choose to say, for this moment, I'm not going to follow that thought. I'm not going to go into that rumination. I'm going to bring myself back to just what does it feel like? Simply to be without doing anything and open to the sensations of not doing anything. Well, by now you might be aware of a flavor on your lips and perhaps even aware of other sensations arising, anticipation, maybe even impatience, maybe saliva in the mouth. And finally, we get to the bit where we're allowed to take a bite, but you're not allowed to chew. Just a bite and hold it in your mouth. Mm. If it's a segment of fruit, or a piece of banana, or a raisin, or a bite from a date, how does it feel in your mouth? Just to hold it there without chewing. Explore with your tongue how this fruit feels in your mouth. Explore with your emotions how it feels to almost eat something but not be allowed to swallow or chew. And explore the physical sensations arising in the mouth, saliva, need to swallow. And then finally, allow yourself to chew and really get into the flavor of the date or the juiciness of your segment of fruit or the squishiness of your banana. And just allow yourself to enjoy the fruit. Feel what it's like to let it all go. Just dive into the experience now that you're ready. Mm. Explore the different sensations of having a pip or a stone compared to the soft flesh of the fruit. And as you chew, open up to all the experience. Maybe it's not just in the mouth. Perhaps it could be an entire body experience. Maybe even your toes might be reacting, or your knees, or your shoulders. If there's any tension, does it soften when you allow yourself to enjoy this fruit? And now, as the experience is finished, you want to see if how it feels as the fruit moves down towards the stomach. Check in Do you feel any differently now from the way you did at the beginning of this experiment, this practice? Have you any different emotions? Do you feel any differently in your mind? Are you more aware of being present? And how does that manifest itself for you today, right now, in relationship to the day around you? What's come before? What's coming later? How does it feel just to be in this space? The answers to those questions are probably very personal and very specific. So, for the week ahead, play with this meditation. Firstly, it's fun. You get to eat a snack every day. You could play with different types of snack, citrus fruits, sweets, chocolate, tea, coffee. You could practice this maybe at different times of the day. See what it's like to do a raisin exercise first thing in the morning at breakfast as a way to start the day, or maybe in the evening as a way to end the day. See what it's like to practice maybe in your car, if you're in between meetings, or at lunchtime if you've got somewhere to eat in the middle of a busy day. So this is a playful exercise, but it's also very interesting because as the week goes on, check in with yourself. Does it change day by day? And once you've been through this exercise once, does it feel different the second time you do it and the third? Is there any time later on in the week where you almost feel it's becoming routine to try this practice? And can you bring yourself back into the unique experience of eating just this food, just in this moment in time, and see how each practice has its own unique experience? And that's really an introduction to mindfulness, and bringing a sense of awareness and alertness and openness, curiosity to how we relate to the way that life unfolds. So, next week, when we come into the meditation Zoom, we're going to be taking what we've learned from this and using it to develop a practice called body scan, where we're going to use the same concepts of focus and attention to carry out an exploration of how it feels in different parts of the body. So that's for next week. And for the rest of the week, enjoy your Raisin meditation. Bye for now.